Hello and a glorious Monday morning to you, my pickled cherry blossom shaken espressos. Hopefully that's not a real thing. So glad you're here for March's very first weekly reading book review. It was a huge week, maybe more later. I don't know. I'm not sure I have time to live my life on social media as much as I have been, especially this week. So did go to Atlanta, went to SCAD Fash, had a mini author retreat at my agent's house with some agent sisters, and it was lovely. And I have only so many words left in my bank account. So we'll see what I remember about the books I sort of read last week. So coffee cheers to you, and let's talk about the books. Yay. The first one I finished, we talked about rather extensively last week. This is The Muralist by B.A. Shapiro. This is adult mystery, historical, dual timeline, art, mystery fiction. I'm not sure that's a genre, but it is now. So I love B.A. Shapiro's writing. She actually knows what she's talking about when she talks about art and making art and the creative life. So this was hard to read sometimes because of artists' mental struggles, creativity struggles, depression, suicide attempts, etc. And it's the dual timeline is World War II leading up to it, and the Depression and the WPA and Eleanor Roosevelt and all the tragedies happening in Europe and the great aunt trying to get her family over, and current timeline, our auction house Christie's authenticator trying to prove that the scraps of a painting she found were made by her aunt and not Mark Rothko, Jackson Pollock, Lee Krasner, and the crowd that the auction house wants it to be so they can make more money. So thoroughly enjoyed this family mystery, although it was, again, heavy. And I love B.A. Shapiro's The Art Forger. Highly recommend if you need something quite not so historically tragic. And have her new one, I believe it's The Lost Masterpiece, on pre-order later this year, June or July. So excited, okay? Muralist. The next one I finished, totally different. This is Daisy Pearce's Something in the Walls. This is adult horror out from Minotaur right now. Thank you, Minotaur, for sending this to me. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Look how great that cover looks on screen. Woo, spooky 3D. Trompe l'oeil. Hooray! It was pitched as Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House, which totally love. And so the whole time you're kind of like, is this real or is it supernatural? Like, are we actually haunted or can we explain this away? So there's a mystery that Daisy goes as a child psychologist in this small English town. I'm not sure if it's Scotland, Ireland, England. I wasn't too familiar with it. And I wish I had realized that it's like Harry Potter housing. Not actually what it's called, but where they're like in a line to where your neighbors share a wall versus me in the suburbs who has a yard between me and the neighbors. That would have made more sense for some of the things. So know that going in, that I just hadn't realized. So anyway, spooky. So don't read if you're squeamish or don't like supernatural witches, magic, witch hunters, etc. Had some great twists in there and a great satisfying conclusion that is still debatable, much like The Haunting of Hill House. So thoroughly enjoyed that. Daisy Pearce, very spooky. Read with the lights on if you're not squeamish. Fair. Okay, the next one I finished, totally different again, but still made me cry. This is The Curious Kitchen at the CHIBINEKO Kitchen by Yuta Takahashi and translated by Kat Anderson, which, I mean, they put her name right under the cat. Brilliant or on purpose? I don't know. Anyway, this was much like Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, The Tales from the Cafe by Tashi Kawaguchi. You know who I'm talking about. There's 5 of them. They're super cute. Anyway, this is a restaurant in a small sea town in Japan where they will prepare a remembrance meal, and as long as the meal is hot and the ghosts can smell the steam, is how ghosts eat, is just smelling it like incense, you can talk to your loved one and give them that message you didn't have time to tell them before they passed. So again, you might cry 3 or 4 times, but it was very touching, great little character studies, and ends on a hopeful little happy note. So I also love that cover. Just beautiful design, beautiful color scheme, love it. The next one I read, the only book I read this weekend, comes in under 90 pages. As I mentioned, I spent the weekend in Atlanta, so I went a day early before the author retreat so I could go to SCAD Fash. There's some costume pictures saved in my highlight reel. Maybe I'll post later. But anyway, I walked past a bookstore on my way to get dinner to take back to my hotel room, and then I walked past it again, but it was too pretty, so I had to go in. And then I went in, and it was so pretty, I had to buy 2 books. So this was a tiny, tiny book I bought, coming in under 90 pages. This is Yukio Mishima's Star. So this is a brief essay with some beautiful writing, couple of adult themes or comments, but beautifully written in the 70s, I believe, about the life of a celebrity and how unreal and surreal it is to be like this one person in public, this other person in private, who people think you are, and going on set, living non-linearly, you know, action cut, etc. So loved that. The cover makes it look like a bullet through the glass. It's not, it's shattering the mirror of perception. So just clarification, it's not a crime novel there, but it was excellently written and I loved it. And also, I didn't read on paper, but I reread via audio, like I like to do, Beth Revis's Full Speed to a Crash Landing. How did I forget how great this was? Probably because I read it so fast when it came out, when I went to her book launch at Malaprops last fall, December, I don't know. Anyway, so this is the first in the trilogy, maybe it has a name, I don't know, Snurgy Space Heist trilogy. That's very much like Firefly and so good. There's kind of maybe enemies to lovers, but are we just kidding each other? Because we all have our own agendas. So great, so snarky. Love the narration, was a little jealous I didn't get to do it myself, but she did an excellent job. So if you're an audiobook listener, this is just comes in over 4 hours at most. So totally please enjoy this short one, which means this week, because I read this one again, I can read the sequel as I anticipate the finale to the trilogy. This is How to Steal a Galaxy. And yes, I got my copy autographed at Malaprops because I love my Beth and her local indie bookstore. This is the Met Gala in space. That's all I know. So really looking forward to that fancy schmancy party in space and a heist, and yay, because also I'm, you know, hot opinion, hot take, I love Ocean's 8. Yay girls and the Met Gala and heist. So anyway, the other one I picked up, you may have seen in last week's used bookstore haul. This is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. My mother said she was terrified of this book when she had to read it in college, so I kind of avoided it. But the days being what they are, and as much true crime as I listen to, and cases, I think I can handle it. Also mostly interested because I read Casey Sepp's The Furious Hours about Harper Lee and how much she actually did all the research for Truman to write this book, because when they went down south where this actual crime, murder of a family happened, they wouldn't talk to the fancy New York boy, but they would talk to one of their own. So Harper got to interview the neighbors and compile all of this information for dear old Truman. So again, In Cold Blood. Also, this is a copy from the 90s, which I guess is still old, but look how great that looks. Like it came straight out of the 50s. I love it. I also, you know, I can't go week without reading middle grade. So this is The Ghosts of Bitterfly Bay, the brand new one from Mary Averling. Super creepy. Look at those hands. So she's a ghost. That's all I know. And it has a great cover and it's middle grade and I love it. And of course, I have yet to begin CYMBELINE in our 2025 Brush Up Your Shakespeare quest. And so this is next in the alphabetical list. So can't wait to read and share this nonsensical fairy tale wild adventure of a plot with you. I'll share some favorite quotes and then we'll vote and then I'll do a handwriting lettering for you. So CYMBELINE coming up hopefully maybe this week. I don't know. It's a nutty week, guys. So I'm going to keep existing on coffee as I do. Try to get some words down on paper, which first will actually be mailing the Patreon art from last week's art sale. Yay. Thank you so much. And this week is Crambox Happy Meal week. So if you are in the cram box, my Patreon, look forward to that. If you're not yet in the cram box, please join. You will get all of March's benefits, including a shiny glitter sticker and personalized note and welcome pack from me, Hallie. So from my studio. So yay art, yay glitter, yay vinyl stickers to put everywhere. So coffee cheers to you. Let me know what stories you're reading, loving, enjoying right now. And we'll talk more books and art and happy things soon.